This week, I'm taking you for a hunt on a brand new species, Tule Elk. They're all right there. Now I'll be honest, Tule elk, I thought how different can they really be from a Roosevelt or from an American elk that I hunt in Colorado. I thought it would be pretty much the same species. Boy, did I learn a lot.
The Tule elk is native to the hills north of Sacramento, a newly recognized record book species unique to California.
Oh, it's hot in California in July. It's feels like it's 1,000 degrees, but we just made it here, got the rental car, and we're gonna go meet up with Mike and Frank over at the ranch and go see if we can find a Tule elk.
Turn right on Crossfield Drive.
You know, since Pope and Young added that species, there's now 29 species of big game animals that are recognized by Pope and Young. Well, I was really excited to see if I had what it took to harvest this 29th species. Nobody else with a traditional bow had ever taken all 29, and I was curious to know if I had what it takes. Not good. That's too hot.
Every hunt has its own challenges. Fred will have to contend with some intense heat and an open landscape to be the first to harvest all 29 species with a recurve.
How you doing, guys? Yes, sir. How are you? How you doing? Nice to meet you. We were met by our host, Frank, and his son, Lane, that work there on the Shamrock Ranch. These guys have been living there for years and know the ranch inside and out. I was excited it was going to be them that were going to show us around. Almost instantly, we start seeing elk. I'm blown away not only by the numbers of elk that I'm seeing, but I'm also excited because I'm thinking, you know what? I may be able to get this done.
Frank just spotted a whole pile of elk over here. Him and Lane have been watching these elk for, well, all year. They live out here. And sure enough, they were right where they thought they were going to be. And there's a pile of them. They've got a blind not too far away, and we're working on a plan.
The very first morning, my host Frank took me out and we spotted some bulls. And shoot, I wasn't gonna wait. I was gonna try and cut them off.
Elk just walked right by us. About 150 yards. I think we may be out of luck on that group. We'll go and try some more.
Instantly, Fred's into another herd.
I start sneaking up at these bulls. I've got the wind in my favor. Everything's perfect. I think I'm gonna be able to get this done the very first day. The wind's in my favor, everything's looking great, and I'm getting almost a bow range. It's looking like I'm gonna get a shot.
Fred is nearly in range, but the Tule elk like to stay in the open and move as they feed.
These elk start moving up this steep hillside, and I keep trying to cut them off. they're already ahead of me. An elk walking and feeding that's faster than a person can slip up sneaking, and I just couldn't keep up with them.
As the last big bull slips away, the close call leaves Fred's heart pounding.
I've usually been pretty lucky in hunting. It seems like a lot of hard work, dedication, and really paying attention to what the animal's doing always pays off for me. This hunt, it just seemed like nothing was going right. I was always in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Fred continues to spot plenty of elk. Without a lot of cover to shield him, he's having trouble getting into bow range. After a day's worth of cat and mouse, Fred decides to go back to the waterhole tactic.
I decided to go back one more time to the tree stand because that's where we had seen the majority of our elk. We had a beautiful bull come by.
A great bull comes along and Fred tries a cow call to get him in range. The big bull is preoccupied with the cows and never gives Fred a chance.
Wouldn't you know it, the elk are back in the same spot as yesterday. The waterhole really wasn't that far away, so I decided to try and slip down using the trees for cover.
As the shadows get longer, Fred decides to take a chance and move directly down to the waterhole.
I start trying to sneak down to the water, and I hear something. It takes a minute, but I realize these elk are starting to come up right toward us. I look around, we've got to get cover fast, so I tuck in next to one of the huge oak trees on the place.
So far, the open country elk have presented very few opportunities. Now he finally gets the break he's been waiting for. In just a few moments, the elk will pass within bow range.
Looking through the grass, I can see the tops of antlers on these bulls, so there's bulls in this group. But the cow's coming up first, and if she gives me an opportunity, I'm not gonna pass it up. All of a sudden I realize she's about to cross our wind, and you can see her throw her nose up and start taking a few sniffs, and I'm thinking she's gonna roll out of here any second. It is now or never.
I got her. I just got Tule Elk. Went around the hill. Whole herd came right up around us. The cow just came up. You could see her starting to catch her wind. I knew I had to do it. The shot looked good.
It's a tough call. You never like to leave an animal, but talked to Frank, and he decided too that we'd probably leave that elk overnight. We're gonna go look for her tomorrow morning, see if we can get lucky. It looked like a fatal shot. The arrow looked like it was placed well. Hopefully we'll find it on the mountain where we last saw it.
The next morning, Fred picks up the trail and he finds the elk piled up a short distance away. It's a first for Fred Eichler and for the sport.
Well, here's my Tule Elk. I'm pretty darn excited. I wanted to try and get the 29th species, and I booked a hunt out here at the Shamrock Ranch in California, and got an arrow into this elk. As you could see, it was right at the crease of the shoulder. It looked great. I thought it was gonna go down within 50 yards, and it hit the open area and then came up into the timber here. and ended up, we haven't done an autopsy yet, but it looks like I just got one lung. Had to follow it up. We chased it the rest of the afternoon, watched it go down into this thick stuff, decided to back off, came in here this morning. That's gonna be some good meat. We just gotta get her off this mountain now. That's awesome.
A Tule elk down makes Fred the first hunter to ever take 29 North American big game species with a recurve.